Uh-huh, honey.
Okay, so I got kicked out. We're going to continue the conversation from here, though. Hopefully you guys are cool with that. And I'm going to get baked, too. So you guys can enjoy that with me. But I want to continue the conversation. If you can scroll back like 2 minutes and see the whiteboard. I want to continue the conversation at that point. Like, what is the point of this religion? Like, what are we waiting for? And also, I brought that book finally that I wanted to show you guys. I finally brought that book because this is the end goal. This isn't the end goal. This is the this is how the chosen people entertain themselves with the winnings of their victory of colonization. Because at the end of the day, this political group or the religious sect or the royal sect connected to this religious arm of a nation says, go take that person's land and their gold and their this and their this. And then that comes not to the people of the colonizing land, to the royal dictatorship authoritative force of said land. And then they build shit like this. And they tell you that there's not enough money to end poverty, to end homelessness. They tell you there's not enough jobs and not enough money to give you a living wage. This is how the non-taxed, untaxed religious authority gets to live in your fucking countries, bro. Because you keep on believing the story that you have to exchange everything that you own in exchange for somebody to come and save you tomorrow after you've proven that you've suffered enough. You get a brown book. Here's your little brown book. Read all these fucking fairy tales and stories so you don't fucking blow your brain up about being existentially confused about your existence in this reality and being post-colonized and then dehumanized in a world where you used to not be dehumanized by the natural world. But let's skip over that real quick, because whatever natural shit you were practicing to love yourself was actually demonic, and you hating yourself is more holy and righteous. Because you hating yourself distracts you from seeing that this is what we're stealing from you. We're giving you a book full of fictional lies, fictional illusions, so you can trade, you can feel obligated to trade up your reality. It's like how these Mormons just came up trying to convince me. I think one of the girls actually wanted to just go on a date with me. But trying to convince me to join their religion. Like, you guys know you hate black people. Why the fuck would you try to get me in there? I know I'm cute. I know some people want to have sex, but like, come on. Don't bring me in that bullshit. I don't hate myself that much. And what's crazy is that, like, the first thing they hit you with is, get this, Jesus died for your sins. Don't know the nigga. Don't give a fuck what the nigga did. And that's crazy, because he was killed for living how he wanted to live. He was killed for living genuinely, living righteous to humanity, to human beings, to the earth, and got killed for that. It's crazy how people still get killed for doing that today. How come we don't address the machine that thrived following the death of Jesus? How come we don't address the machine that thrived following the death of MLK? How come we don't address the machine that thrives on global suffering and damnation so they can organize systems to heist our reality from us and then not praise God, praise them fucking selves? Because get this. Let's see where I can find here. Praising God, that's not God. When you got to ask yourself, when has God stepped foot into any of these places? Praising God looks like we're praising a human being who is acting as if he is divinely connected to God. Spokesperson of spiritual power. The person who not only grants divine authority for military regimes to dominate the entire earth and extract all the resources out of it for this self-fucking praise or global destruction. But guess what? You also are meant to pacify the people. They should call you a pacifier instead of a pastor. Pacifier. Pastor fire. That's what they should call you guys. Because you're pacifying the people to get them to cope with their current suffering, but also removing responsibility they can take from their lives so far away from them that it's somebody else, some imaginary figure has to come in an imaginary time called the future to come and save you from right now. But nobody's going to help you right now. You're just going to have to suffer right now. And if you don't want to suffer right now, there's a devil in your brain telling you that you're fucking demonic and you're trying to turn against us and you're not human. So we should punish you for not wanting to comply blindly. People like me get killed. People like me get called fucking heretics. People like me get poisoned. Motherfucking Galileo. Go look what happened to him, bro. Just for telling people, hey, the earth is not the center of the universe, guys. I'm seeing something different. These guys wanted to kill that, bro. Didn't Socrates get killed? Or Plato? Sentenced for corrupting the youth? Educating these niggas? How? Black people, come to the front. How come it was a crime, a federal crime, if federal existed at that time, it was a crime for black people to learn how to read and write? Except the only book we're allowed to read is the Bible? Are you fucking stupid, guys? They can read every other book. They can cross-reference their truth with other evidence, other studies, other reasoning. And we have to live and die by the only manufactured truth they didn't give us, forced down our throats to cope like a drug with our colonization. Because some random group of light-skinned aliens came to our land, took everything, gave us all these diseases, raped and pillaged everything, decided to start fighting with our men or just murdering our men straight up in a genocide, calling it a war. They love doing that. It's actually a genocide because the other side doesn't even know what they're fighting for. The other side is just trying to protect themselves, not knowing this is a genocidal attempt at overthrowing a populace. Colonizers have never, ever, ever gone anywhere to do anything holy other than come back 100 years, 500 years later and say, we're coming to clean up what our ancestors fucking did. But mind you, we're coming to clean up and not bring this stuff back because all the valuable stuff we're leaving at home with us. And then we're going to go beg God gives us this in heaven after we finish suffering on earth because we're so fucking stupid. You remember what I said like an hour ago in the beginning of this video? If you sold everything that's in these goddamn churches, sold them, everything, sold them straight, even the ones in the UK, the Vatican. You know what's even crazy about the Vatican? The Vatican has ancient African and indigenous magical artifacts under there. I can promise you that. They won't even kill me for saying that because I'm facts. And you guys are just think I'm so schizophrenic, you won't even believe me. But the second I start getting influenced, then I'll start getting targeted. But I'm not targeted now because it's like, people just think I'm crazy. But when people start aligning my ideas and concepts and conclusions with that of reality that still has yet to be uncovered, you guys are going to realize that I'm just coming at you from the wrong angle. And I still don't understand what the right one is yet because I was never taught that, and I apologize. But I'm trying to connect to you guys as much as I can, I promise. Sell off all this stuff, turn all these churches into, guess what? Housing for the homeless and welfare centers. So the people that live there are temporarily being housed so they can get support or village accommodation. And the people who access this place actually get welfare resources. And we don't have to keep on losing them because billionaires want to get richer off the federal government and stealing government fucking bailouts or government contracts so they don't go to actual nonprofits that actually care about people. So we can build AI data centers in space instead of actually trying to alleviate the homelessness and the poverty issue, and maybe start addressing the issues that lead to other issues like crime and drug abuse. Or does it make more sense to hoard all the wealth of a populace in one area, use that as like some divine credibility to say we can say whatever we want, you can't say anything because you're dependent on us anyway, because God has put us in this position, and then issue after issue after issue that could have been alleviated by redistributing some fucking wealth creates. But that's funny because the church is manufacturing the suffering that you have to endure to get to the heaven that they're also selling you the dream of. How crazy is that? But if the church didn't exist and it was just niche communities that actually worked on actual initiatives to help actual people and actual engagement on planet Earth, it wouldn't be hoarding wealth. It would be effective financial people organized to make financial change to keep nations in a good place. And then more people, instead of believing in this false religion, can spend their time freeing themselves from ignorance to become an intelligent populace. And then the country can actually be a democratic country. Not because intellectual people are independent, but because intellectual people can make decisions quickly, collectively. Stupid people argue about every motherfucking thing and then give up and give it all up to God. Because we don't think that we're worthy of being able to take care of each other without some divine presence looking over us, but somehow was falling asleep during slavery. Because that's probably like the most important time you could have been divine, omnipresent being in the fucking universe. When my fucking people were getting fucking turned to slaves to build stupid ass fucking shit like this. It's it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. It doesn't fucking stop. Are you seeing this? So it feels like I'm just like I'm looking at all the days that I had to miss out on a meal, all the days I had to sleep in my car, all the days that I was rejected and lied on by my religious family, who told me, hey, instead of us helping you financially because we know you're in a bad spot and we know, hey, mom, sabotage my fucking life, piece of shit. Now you tell me to pray to God like God's going to do anything? No, because you want me to not have any help and to believe that in some random fucking divine fucking intervention, I'm going to be saved. From what? You? The person who's obstructing my life and my opportunities? The person who's ruining my fucking opportunity to be human? Get the fuck out of here. All I got to do is leave you, develop a healthy foundation, have a intention for where I'm trying to go in my future, and allow life to be life, bro. And I don't have to deal with this back and forth, God versus the devil trying to take control of my mind, and I'm afraid of going to hell, but I want to go to heaven so bad that I have to manipulate other people like an MLM scheme to join my cult. But I don't really believe in it because I love how much I am knowing of this divine presence and how impactful it is in my life. I'm just afraid that I'll go to hell if I don't do this. And then I want to call everybody else out because that's the only power I have. Calling out other people, criticizing other people, trying to make other people conform just like I am, because that's the only creativity in my life. My ability to fucking conform, because I can't even create any original fucking ideas without being afraid that the devil created them. None of these look like Jesus or God to me. These look like the white men who happen to be in power at the fucking time and their little science fiction fantasy fairies that exist to support their psychosis. None of these men who were carved into fucking gold, mind you, isn't there a Bible story that said stop making false idols out of gold? Yeah, let's fucking read that shit again. Hey, none of these men can give birth to children. If women vanished from Earth, this wouldn't be a thing. Because it would be done in one generation. Why? Because you know the philosophy behind, this is the philosophy behind American debates, but really it's the philosophy behind westernized men, colonial men. The only thing you would do if other groups of people didn't exist, it was just this white man's fight club on Earth. And you, against nature, you would fight each other, you would fuck each other, you would fantasize about other forms of life, and then you would die in one single generation. You wouldn't even learn how to adhere to taking responsibility to nature, to learn that nature could sustain you. You wouldn't even think that complex on some Neanderthal shit. let me take that back. Neanderthals were actually smarter than a handful of people, especially people who exist right now. You might think they're cavemen, but they were much more instinctual than we are, because we're addicted to our phones and these false realities that we perpetuate on them. And they also had access to living in reality. We have to pay for it. Look at this, bro. Like, I want you to keep looking at this. Like, and any of you Christians saying that it was divinely ordained, any of that shit, sell all this shit or give it all the way back to the place that it was stolen from, and then tell me how many of these issues exist. Or do the thing that I told you. Clear out these churches, turn them into fucking housing for homeless, get the money and turn it into a welfare program, because you're not taxed, especially you American churches, You're not taxed anyway. So how about we take that money you should be spending on taxes, paying our fucking government to make fucking welfare programs for people who need it? Why don't you take the initiative to do that? Because you don't care about being Jesus. You care about acting as if you are, and acting as if Jesus is talking to you, and acting as if you know what to tell people to do. Because that's what you want. Control. This is why I say the God these people worship, it's not the devil. It's just a system of absolute power, which is the direct contradiction to unconditional love. Because absolute power needs to dominate when domination is not even a necessity. Its inherent existence is to dominate even when it's at balance. So it means it perpetuates its own imbalance to justify this insatiable need to conquer all the time. So much so that it has to break away from the natural order to be the king, even if it's only a psychosis in its head. And then the people who also submit to this psychosis end up perpetuating in our real life and start exacting things like patriarchy, the ownership of women to create children, or capitalism, the ownership of men to create capital. All master-slave psychosis, or divine race theory, which is we conquered you, or we're better than you, so we own you, and we are your masters and you are the slaves. But there is never nobody's a master and nobody's a slave, because we all take care of each other. And this is some divine, cosmic, fragmented family. Not even the church can think like that, because you guys still harbor feelings of racism, of misogyny, of homophobia, transphobia, all these things that you're allowed to harbor, because why? You have that chosen one psychosis in your stupid ass fucking brain. Telling you not only are you better than everybody for being lame and not better than nobody, but you're going to tell everybody else how to live. And you don't even live life because you're afraid of it. That's why you cling so deeply onto this fucking religion, because you're afraid of your humanity and your own existence, but you want somebody to tell you a simple story that you can believe in to get you to fucking sleep at night. And nigga, I haven't been sleeping my whole fucking life, nigga.
And his name is John C.
And somebody else is going to have to deal with this shit. I'm sweating like a motherfucker in here. I'm sorry. So we're speaking a lot about like the systemized nature of just like absolute power. Infinite intelligence, absolute power, and unconditional love. Those are the balanced 3 points of cosmic energy that creates this family that I've been describing this whole story basically. I believe, I'm going to say a couple of theories now, just to show you how dire it is that we as people transcend religious psychosis on a global level, or at least on a generational level, and we start at least, if not abandoning traditional religion, creating new social systems and spiritual systems that recognize the humanity of other human beings and deeply recognize the humanity of ourselves, so we don't sacrifice that and this lived human experience for artificial intelligence to do the living and us to do the fucking ant farming. I think that, you know how I described that AI is basically going to be like the mediator between the haves and the have-nots? I believe that cryptocurrency is actually going to be it's going to be the currency of the digital world that the poors are enslaved to, because it's the only world that's affordable to access. Because the only thing you got to pay to access the digital world is like viewing ads. But in the real world, you have to actually pay to show up to venues. You actually have to pay to dress up and be at places. You actually have to pay gas to travel. You actually have to pay tickets, pay entry, pay all this extra shit, pay any mishaps. The world is becoming too expensive. It's becoming too expensive for people to even live in their own homes, to pay their own fucking bills and live in their own homes. You think they can do things outside of that? No. And when AI takes all your jobs, there's not going to be any new jobs that get created. Because all those new jobs are going to these fucking Israelis that they're training how to take over the world with tech. I hate to even say it like that. And nothing to do with Judaism or anything. Israel has been deeply invested in not only technology, but cybersecurity technology to further their blackmail operations. Yes, that's what they've been participating in. And to manipulate the populace. Isn't it weird how like top Israeli investors have not only the biggest hands in media investments and media angel investing, but social media, mass surveillance, like social networking, like they are just completely dominating all those fields. I want you guys to remember that like the state of Israel, like they coach their citizens with fascist philosophy. Like I want you to know that. Like the reason why it's so hard to convince like an Israeli, especially like an Israeli like Jewish person, that they're being brainwashed is because that's all they know. That's legitimately all they know, and it's all they're told, and they're celebrated for thinking like that. They're even celebrated for the negative aspects of the ways that they think. That's why they'd rather do that than actually be punished for thinking that way and then have to humanize the people they've been allowed to just piss all over. If you can get the people to enjoy the people that they're literally dehumanizing or pissing on, if you can get them to enjoy that process, you can get them to do a lot more shit, a lot worse shit than this devil you guys are afraid of. People. There's a video of Netanyahu saying what it takes. You just got to get people to believe in a higher power, and you get them to lose all sense of morality and humanity. Netanyahu himself was saying that in like a 2003 interview. Look how far we've come. Cryptocurrency is a complete scam, and it's really the only. I'm going to make a better series on this, but cryptocurrency is a complete scam. The whole entire point of it, let's be honest, it's to parlay like and think about this. This also ties into that advertisement that which I think it was an advertisement. It may have not been an advertisement, but I think it was an unsolicited, like it was an untagged ad. That guy that bet their whole entire life savings on the Seahawks winning the Super Bowl, paid ad for Kalshi. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. It doesn't even matter how much money they won off that. Guarantee you that was a fucking paid ad, bro. And if they get busted for not disclosing that, I'm pretty sure they get busted. They lose all that money. But the whole entire point is to get the poor people in a position to where it's like, okay, society's getting so bad, I'm not thinking about getting another job that will pay me better, or I'm not thinking about going to school to get more skills and to get more credits to, again, be better in the job market. I'm just going to gamble all my fucking savings away. And I barely even have shit, to be honest. So if I lose all of it, I'm really fucked. But, I mean, I really don't have shit anyway, so trying to make sure they're still going. But do you see that? Crypto, for poor people, it's to parlay the poors into this abyss, this financial abyss that is completely in the dark. Rich people own all of it and all the ships that are going through this completely blacked out terrain. And you're at the mercy of if they want to make money, a quick buck off you or not. At any second of the day, you're at the mercy of a quick buck. You will make no money off of this shit, bro. You will make maybe $5. You'll lose your whole life savings doing it, though. The whole entire point of legalizing gambling is to push us into a hyper predictive, like schizophrenic financial economy where nobody knows anything, and the only people who have an awareness of what's going on, it's not even the Fed anymore. It's just wealthy people who own the crypto coins that are popular. So instead of nations having currencies tied to them, it'll just be businesses. We'll just be using Elon coin, Zuck coin. They're not trying to tell you that, but they'll own the coins. These elite groups of billionaires who are also participating in these fucking files, mind you, will own all the coins. And they're telling you, we're going to free ourselves from the banks. Yeah, they're freeing their billionaire asses from the fucking banks, and all from the banks, but they're freeing themselves from legal accountability, period. Because if you're already a 100 millionaire, you're not trying to make $1 million off crypto. You're already a 100 millionaire. Now, nobody is catching your transactions. I could do sex work. I could sell drugs. I could sell hitmen. I could sell anything. And mind you, you guys think I can't, but I'm a businessman. I'm not an idiot. But that doesn't even matter. I'm a businessman. I'm not an employee, bro. I could sell anything. I could sell the pussy. Don't take that seriously. I was joking. And I know we're not supposed to be at that, but a businessman knows how to sell. A great businessman knows how to sell anything. Genuinely. I mean, fuck, how you become a businessman, you can't even sell your own product. Something I had to ask myself. Okay, but see, now I'm talking out my ass. This whole like speculative markets, day trading, hot index trading, fucking forex trading, all of it is to get you to just release your feet off the ground financially, as if you even understood what banking and finance was before this, and completely lose your ground, bro. Because, like, genuinely, do you think the federal government is watching you spend $1,000 on OnlyFans? The federal government could not care that you're buying some OnlyFans content from some petite girl that looks like she's barely legal, bro. As weird as it is, nobody's looking at you. Nobody cares that you bought weed and sent money through fucking Venmo. No, literally, the world goes. You could do some more way heinous shit and the world goes financially. The world goes. You know what the real problem is? When somebody who already has the money and already has the incentive to do crime now has absolutely no guardrails to do the crime, and even better, there's no chance they'll ever get caught doing it. If this Epstein shit was going on in Bitcoin era, they would scale this shit so fast it'd be disgusting. They were actually wanting to keep this under the rug long enough for AI videos to come out and for crypto to come out so they can trade the transactions from doing prostitution on OnlyFans. We could talk about that another day. And move it straight to crypto along with the other crime they're doing. Because nobody's tracking the crypto crime. And then when poor people get on this cryptocurrency and they realize, like, oh my goodness, my $10 that was $10 yesterday is now $1 today. And then next week it's 75 cents. And then the week after that, it's literally 0.1 cents. And the person who owns your coin is actually a millionaire now because they actually sold the fuck out of your coin on a rug pull. So, yeah, when all the poor people end up selling their damn souls and the little remainder bit of the cash that you have to manifest the reality of this crypto market, that's all a scam, mind you. You're going to be forced to live off this crypto. That will be worth nothing because, again, other people who have natural resource and have money will be safe for this society. But you won't. You'll be fucked. You will be enslaved to using this crypto coin on this digital reality, which will probably enslave you like Ready Player One to whatever bedroom you have access to. And the real world will be privatized. And if not privatized, it'll be used to make data centers that will scorch a third of this planet to generate like maybe a decade of artificial intelligence. Maybe a decade. And I don't even think it'll be that much better than what we get right now, if I'm being genuinely honest with you. What the angles to scale don't have to do with the technology itself. It has to do with the training data and how human beings engage with it. That's the next phase of scaling artificial intelligence. If you can't get human beings to be curious enough to make use cases out of this shit, no way in fuck. No way in fuck. Human beings, like, that's the thing about not only technology, but it's the thing about tools. You can have one person Think about it. You can have one person use a gun to kill somebody, one person uses a gun as a flare, one person uses a gun to start a fire. Artificial intelligence is weird because it's like an orb that turns into the tool that you want, or is being sold to us as that. And it turns into this digital tool of your liking. And if you can use it or understand that magic, then you can turn it into tools to amplify yourself or accessing your goals. But crypto's a sham, bro. I don't care how much money anybody makes off that. The people who make real money are going to be already rich, or they're going to have to steal their they're going to have to rip their money out during the rug pull. And at that point, you're going to be rich off the rug pull, and I'm still going to be right, because that's how you got rich, not off actually investing in crypto and you freeing yourself from the federal government. You lying fuck. Most of you guys who are promoting crypto don't even understand nothing about finance. Like, they're so stupid about traditional finance and markets that they just want to be smart about Forex and crypto. Like, no, that's why you're in there, because you don't get the traditional shit. And if you understood the traditional shit, you'd realize that this is also made up fucking jargon to get white collar crime legalized across the fucking country. Isn't it funny how Trump was anti-crypto until these crypto donors started paying his fucking bills? Which leads me to the other fucking theory I have. If you guys want to find out the rest of the names that are redacted on the Epstein files, just go look at Trump's 2024 campaign donations. I guarantee you somebody smart here can go line up the length of those typed names onto the documents and find at least 20 more people that are being protected. Because why else would you donate to a felon's campaign? Because you're a felon too, you dumb fuck! I gotta go get my fucking clothes before they dampen in the fucking wash right now. That's why I'm here. Because I didn't want to take more time in there when I could be doing my little washy wash, and then I could sleep good before I got to go in and be a slave tomorrow. Isn't it weird how you just have to keep living life no matter what the fuck is going on, no matter what's going on in your brain? It's an absolute shit show. But if we can get pushed over to the digital reality using this crypto stuff and then validate it as if crypto is like the money, the currency of the digital world that you spend 18 to 24 hours on, AI will be the god of that reality. And mind you, AI is a god that is a false infinite intelligence that you think is infinite intelligence because it keeps giving you answers, but it's owned by a private company. And you're going to be subscribing to that private company. So God, again, like, these people have created the Antichrist, if you want to call it that. But again, I believe that the return of Christ is going to be the collective consciousness awakening and remembering that we are all fractals of that divine being, and we can tap into collectively unconditional love to overthrow this absolute power. Because absolute power is something that creeps into the mind of a traumatized being, of an insecure being, of somebody who wants revenge, not somebody who wants love, who wants care, who wants experience. It's crazy how we can all share this experience if we're all living out of love and care and respect. But it immediately turns into a claustrophobic shit show when everyone's playing the power struggle. Immediately. Same amount of people. But we're scarce for resources, everyone's dying, everyone's suffering, and we're all trying to go to heaven. But it's like, it's only because we're power struggling when we should be collectively loving. That's what I think. Okay, damn, we don't have too much to get into, actually. I'm going to put my clothes up, and then in the next part of this video, we're going to get baked, and we're going to talk about my theories for what's happening in the files and what, where we'll be at. Like, I'll try to give, like, a kind of clear spiritual awareness as to, like, what's happening. Like, why they're doing, like, the nasty, like, cheese pizza, grape soda type shit. If you guys know, you know. But, oh, I didn't even get to the point. I didn't even tell you guys, like, the whole religion kind of backs in to all this. I guess we'll talk a little bit here. We're waiting for two things with religion. Please, if whoever's clipped my videos, clip this right here. You're waiting for two things with religion. Only two, and not the thing that you're expecting. One, you're waiting for this God to come back, and then all can be perfect again. Which is weird, because if you were doing the work you're supposed to do to take care of the people on earth while this God is absent, then by the time God's back, everybody will be really taken care of, because then we're just missing one piece of the puzzle. But if everybody has given up all care and all authority, waiting for God to come back, God comes back, and then all of us are just lazy sloths not doing shit because we're all just waiting to be saved. And now nobody can help anybody else. Everybody is codependent because everybody gave up responsibility. So that God either comes back, but mind you, while we're waiting for that God to come back, this is what we're stealing. While you wait in the illusion of a future, this is what we're building with the stolen artifacts and objects from your reality. So we're gonna keep waiting, right? And everyone's like, this is blasphemy. Jesus is gonna spite you. God's gonna punish you, blah, blah. Tell Jesus to come the fuck down right now and tell that motherfucking shit to my face. How about it? Tell Jesus to come down and scare me his damn self. Because I'm not scared of none of you bitches. I'm not scared of none of you bitches.
John C.
Which I really think is going down, and what should be revealed to you guys, because you guys still think that black people are fucking monkeys and you forget that we're divine, a race of human beings. Again, not superior. We're just a divine class of human beings that is not being told the truth about our history, just like the indigenous people of the West. The indigenous people were the divine people of the West. And this land was stolen from them intentionally because there's something very, very... This is why I think I even came to America. Like, my soul is even here. I'm a first-generation American, but I'm telling you for a fact, there is divine spiritual energy in this country. And there's magic, dark magic being performed by these elites of not just this country, but the Trilateral Commission that allow countries like this to stay in power in place, post-colonialism. The Pentagon, which is isn't that the office for the Department of Defense? The Pentagon, is that not the shape of a fucking pentagram? The Pentagon is literally the inside of a pentagram. At the head being the fucking White House. If that isn't black magic, bro, and a literally sealed, and look at the Egyptian obelisk, look at the fucking Lincoln Memorial, look at everything. It's all respects to Roman architecture, Egyptian spirituality, bastardized, mind you, because they're not Africans, and then cosplaying this like, oh, we're elitist, and then we can just kind of do whatever we want because God gave us this authority. What they're genuinely trying to do is convince you that God's coming in the future. Why? So they can go scavenge through the world to go find this Philosopher's Stone or whatever the fuck they're looking for, the Ark of the Covenant, any of that, and they can get magical powers and become gods themselves. That's what they want. But the thing that they hate the most is that women are inherently spiritual, queer people, especially transgender, are inherently spiritual, melanin people are inherently spiritual, and these like parasitic colonizer pirates from the outer space are not inherently spiritual. They're inherently animalistic. I'm not going to say demonic. Inherently animalistic, making them the most vulnerable race of people to get manipulated by a god or a false god like the one that we spoke about, the god of absolute power, convincing them that all they have to do is sell out all humanity to then be able to be the divine conquerors over them, to then hope that they feel less insecure internally, not knowing that the only thing they'll do, or the best thing they'll do, is destroy the entire world, not being able to actually hold that insecurity within them. You're going to start to see, when you start seeing the baby farms like Zorro Ranch, when you start seeing things like Epstein and his friends impregnating 12-year-old girls, because 12 to 14-year-old girls, because they have the best genes, or Peter Nygaard talking about 14 to 18-year-old black girls, when you abort their babies at 8 months, they have the best stem cells, and you suck the blood out of them to like keep living forever. Look how ugly this nigga is. Look how ugly Brian Johnson is, and he thinks that he's not associated with this Epstein shit, but look at him trying to do basically like normalized eugenics. taking all these pills and supplements to optimize his life. You know, indigenous people knew how to live. African people knew how to live with the earth, knew how to look sexy, knew how to have a spiritual routine. We all knew this before you guys came and destroyed our fucking history, destroyed our existence. Now you guys are trying to reverse engineer, but you guys keep on looking at us, intelligent species, as ignorant animals, so you'll never be able to benefit from the divine gifts that we have inherently been blessed with on this planet Earth. You will just keep competing with us and keep trying to conquer us because you think that killing us and owning us or controlling us is the power you want. It's not. It's being included in this divinely spiritual human experience without having to fucking destroy it for everyone. That's what you want. But you don't know how to communicate that. So you keep on blowing the fucking world up. But it's all of it is to you convince the poors to wait on God so they give you their whole entire reality, make them feel like they owe you everything, own the entirety of reality, and if not just owning reality and owning them, use them as an ant farm or try to make up these weird scientific experiments that are all rooted in eugenicism to manufacture godhood for yourself or to become God by creating life that is an eternal slave to you. That's the end goal with this shit. And once these group of people finds a way to either make humans completely subservient to them or make a race of robot-like humans or human-like robots that are completely subservient and can punish the non-complicit humans, that's when they get what they want. That is absolute power. And they see themselves as not human. They see themselves as more than human. The chosen race, that this God they're manifesting or the system they're manifesting, they see them as the kings of that world. Absolute power. No ever democracy, no fighting back, no obstruction, nothing. That's why I'm saying they're not worshiping the devil. They are sacrificing this human experience for the illusion of creating a system that offers them absolute power. And this is what leads me back to when you say your biblical Bible thumpers, every knee shall bow, every knee shall bow. Yeah, to the ultimate master, not the all-loving, all-forgiving mother or father of the universe, whatever you believe in. That's called master. That's called everybody is a slave. Not by choice, by force. Because your reality is at the mercy of being told yes and no by a figure that isn't even real, is owned by a private fucking company. Because now we're going to be creating God and manufacturing apocalypses and fucking end times rituals instead of actually, I don't know, living. Because we have the technology to do that now. And help rich and powerful people escape with pedophile rings. But I'll get into exactly what these wealthy people are doing or what I'm aware of that's going on. That's spiritually coded. But you know the truth now. I've just explained it to you. The last 5 minutes, go look back if you want to hear it again. But they want to convince you that God is coming to save you from the hell they've created while using your reality to create the magic that will allow them to be gods on earth. So you never have to worry about that God coming to save you. Because by the time you realize these people are the gods and have become the gods, you won't even have enough in you to fight them. You'll have to submit to their system. And that is every knee shall bow. That is the system that everybody is waiting for. The God maker system. But the problem is the people who are fighting for power don't even love each other. They just love the illusion of the power that they will have or the power they think they have. And they'll end up destroying the system if it doesn't destroy itself. Ouroboros. Let's bring that picture back in here. And the only reason why the system keeps going is because people like you and me who don't benefit from it at all keep believing in it. I'll give you a little preview. Can you read that? All right, we'll get into it. All right. What I'm trying to say with this last part here is don't be surprised when you see this shit show up. Do not be surprised when you see this shit show up in those stupid ass. They might not even. If I'm being honest, bro, the shit in these files is so nasty and sick. Like, you will question our society more for like why we didn't believe the children. Like it was never that much to just believe the children. But it's assuming that these people just like they only believe in fantastical stories and make shit up for attention. Like the consistency of the patterns around this shit show you that somebody in law enforcement, somebody in positions of not only political, but I'm talking legislative authority, knew this shit was happening and let it happen. They won't release the Epstein files because every system, every government, every financial, every fucking sector of authoritative economics, every authoritative figure at any position of any type of fucking power that means anything in our society over the last 50 years has been a part of this shit. They either participated in it, they covered for somebody, they offered somebody, they sacrificed one of their own. Every single person is in on this. And it's like, you're going to question, how come nobody's doing anything? You think these people are going to hold themselves accountable? That's why it was important for us to have the Trump administration in there, because not only is it going to destroy the American faith in the government for Israel to then instate new leaders that support are only pro-Israel, which you guys don't want to accept that Israel is running a coup on America right now. But maybe that was the main thing I was trying to get to. Whatever, we're here now. So what times, while we're waiting for them to release the files, just like we're waiting on Jesus to come back and save us all, neither of those things are going to happen, sadly, and we're going to be forced to live in a reality where we've accepted that we have been shown damn near proof, self-incriminating proof, that this dude Epstein was doing wild, nasty, disgusting stuff. Here's what we can pull from decades of conspiracy theories, what has been validated by the redacted files at this point, and what we can assume off of our pattern recognition assumption. Human experiments, this is the end goal for this AI tech Nazi dystopia. They're going to take their undesirable class of humans that don't work and don't contribute to society. We'll do human experiments on them to find out how not only, this isn't even transgenderism. This is transhumanism in the sense that we're trying to merge the human with technology. So the human or the consciousness can live forever, but we don't even understand where the consciousness is being derived from. We don't even understand that awareness could be connected to our bodies like Bluetooth, and it doesn't even come from the body, but the only thing that we think, because the brain processes this energy and turns it into brain matter to consume, we think that we're thinking with the brain, but the brain is just one part of our thinking machine. Our brain works in unison with our heart and with our intestines, creating a threefold brain. That's another thing they don't want to fucking tell you. Your intestine has neurons in it, brain cells in it. The food you eat literally affects the ideas that you have and your ability, your cognitive ability. And America knows that. But maybe there will be other files that show you that the federal government of America and big business has been not only lobbying, but participating to make sure that Americans are who we experiment on. And then we sell them these experimental foods by calling them trends, instead of actually creating a fundamental diet that Americans can lean on to be healthy fundamentally and not in the fucking hospital every 2 weeks. Human experiment, and mind you, I've been saying this since 2023. They've been kidnapping homeless people off the streets and doing human experiments with them. There's an entire underground city in Vegas. But the underground shit goes a lot deeper and darker than just underground. Like you guys, I can't wait till you guys find out that those bunkers are not just bunkers for billionaires to hide from the apocalypse. Those are complete underground networks, stations. For what? Hey, when you want to traffic people, when you want to traffic a little 12-year-old Ukrainian girl, but you don't want to go in planes and sign passports and boarding passes and visas, what's the best way to do it? Let your yacht turn into a submarine and submarine your way through the sea to the location you need to take your target. You guys may think I'm crazy, but in like 2 years, you're going to be like, holy fuck. That was way too on point. You would think that I was participating with Epstein the way I know what this nigga is doing, bro. But it's because I've done actually too much research on sex work, and not only sex work, but prostitution from the root. Like I'm talking from royal time and criminal empires. So instead of listening to true crime and just
Ted Bundy.
I'm actually looking at the true crime that is the biggest cover-up of American fucking history. That is what's happening right now. Blackmail operation to destroy the Western world. Or maybe not say that. So they merge themselves. Rich people merge themselves with technology. They also do human experiments. Okay, that's the next thing. Genetic testing. Remember how I told you that Peter Nygaard was like, let's abort your baby at 8 months so I can suck the blood out of its neck like a vampire. Yeah, stem cells. That's another thing. Rich people think that they can stem cell their way into living forever, not realizing that the body is meant to decay to death because the awareness is what's more important, not the body. But people who are so absent of their spirituality, so absent of any type of divine connection, the only place that they feel like they can live and be accepted or appreciate themselves is in this material form. And not only that, but when they're dominating everybody else. So the scary part about this whole stem cells situation, it's not just using aborted babies' organs and blood to do it and literally eating placentas. They're impregnating 12-year-old girls to do this. Like that's why they're not revealing these files. They're impregnating 12 to 14-year-old girls, forcing them to give birth to the child at 8 months, and then using the discarded baby, which isn't alive, mind you. Pro-life people might hate me for that. Which isn't alive. And if it is, it was killed. And then they use that for their own personal gain. Like, we're forcing children to give birth to children to be literally eaten by old white men and their constituents. Think about how crazy that is. We're forcing children to give children, we're forcing children to have children that are not even real, but like stillborn, to be eaten by old white men who don't like seasoning on their food. You would call me, literally 2 years ago, you'd call me schizophrenic for saying this. Anti-Semitic, and then you'd call me schizophrenic. But these files are telling me that I'm right. And mind you, I don't hate Jewish people. I'm not anti-Semitic. I'll never be that. I don't hate anybody enough to have an identity that is rooted in hating somebody. One thing I do love is accountability, though. And I won't let nothing. I won't let crocodile tears. I won't let no bullshit religion. I won't let no gaslighting stop me from seeing if you are in the way of the truth that we all need to be aware of. And I don't care if we got to discard you to get there. I hope you realize that. I'm a real intellectual. I'm not no pussy ass nigga like the rest of y'all. Trying to stay in between the lines. I am the lines, motherfucker. Okay. Didn't mean to go all fucking rampage on you guys. But the next thing is the child ritual sacrifice, which this one is, it's not only scary that like they're like the cheese, pizza, grape soda. What adult do you know consistently requests to have cheese, pizza, and grape soda parties? And it doesn't mean some innocuous fucking sexual innuendo. Whenever have you heard adults communicating excitedly like it's a joke, like it's some subliminal message, cheese, pizza, and grape soda specifically? Like all these elites. You just love specifically narrowed down, not even caviar, cheese, pizza, and grape soda. It's what disgusts me more is not what you're doing. It's the fact that it's a joke to you guys. And not only is what you're doing a joke, you think you can get over on the American people and think it's a joke, which you probably will because most Americans are stupid right now. But It's a fucking damn shame that nobody's slitting your fucking throat open and just ripping every organ out from that fucking slit until there's nothing left in your fucking body for what you've done to these children and these women and these little boys as well. If heaven is real, you will be fucking sitting outside the gates like the homeless people sit outside the gates of these goddamn mega churches. That's what the fuck it's gonna be. And they know that. That's why they want to live forever in human material form. They don't want to die because death is the only thing that forces them to face karma. It's the only fucking truth that they can't run away from. That's why they're trying to conquer that now. They've already conquered the world. We're all slaves to them, indebted in some system. They want to conquer death. That is the final thing for them to do. They want to conquer death. And I hope it blows up right in their face. Child ritual, sacrifice. The point of that is to, personally, what I believe the point of that is the entity they believe they're sacrificing these children to. It doesn't need children. It doesn't need children. It wants you to give up your soul to this being. But because these people, these servants of this creature, of this entity, are so sociopathic, they're like, how about I give you something other than my soul in exchange for what I want? Let's go back at a fictional story. Thanos sacrificing his own fucking daughter to get the soul stone. Killing his own daughter to get the soul stone. There are people in those Epstein files that offered up their own children. A women's rights activist offered her 13-year-old daughter to Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, no. 13-year-old sister. Didn't even have to get coerced. Didn't even have to get coerced. Those files are not just going to show you the victimization of children. It's going to show you the complete lack of care that every single adult in the vicinity had. Especially because that's not my kid, not my business. That's a consequence of releasing these files. It's not just the perpetrators, it's the people who let the shit happen, the fucking bystanders, the people who heard something and didn't do nothing, and then want to be a part of the Netflix documentary 40 fucking years later when it doesn't fucking matter anymore. I'll always remember myself as a nigga who did that shit right now. But the child ritual sacrifice, it's about the blood. It's about the state of fear that children are in, of when they're being tortured, when they're being traumatized, the deep sense of fear. I know you guys love that adrenochrome story. You make children scared and then you fucking rip the blood out of them and then you drink it. We don't have to go into the science behind that, but one thing I can promise you is that that's a lot more real than you guys want to believe. Think about yourself when you're in a happy state and somebody comes and scares the living shit out of you. Do you feel your blood turn cold? You think that's just nothing? Good. I'm glad you're smarter than that, because that's not just nothing. Now imagine when a child is being abused by grown adults, multiple adults, repeatedly, with no hope of leaving or escaping. Because more times than not, their parents either offered them up or they were already in a fucked up home situation, so there is nowhere we could go back to. That level of existential fear coursing through the blood is something so attractive to these billionaire incels. And let's be honest here. I can call them incels because when the only time you get sexual activity is when you're raping children, you are involuntarily celibate. And if you didn't have all that wealth to pay for prostitution, which is not prostitution, because if you're having sex with kids, that's raping kids. So that's not prostitution anymore. I don't care how much money you gave them. That's rape. Like I'm confused. And all these things I'm telling you, like nobody is held accountable still. Ghislaine Maxwell is sitting in jail to make it look like somebody's taking accountability for this shit. So much of this stuff is about just like living forever. It's about ultimate power and then living forever. That's it. Like, God created you, a mortal being, so you can live and die and appreciate the one experience that you have. Not so you can sit here trying to elongate that experience beyond its actual meaning, because that's when your brain starts turning into this weird mush and you start doing stupid ass shit like Trump and his whole entire administration to a bunch of young people who didn't do fucking shit to deserve this. Gen Z, I'm looking at you. We got fucked. And we're going to be fucked for another like 10 years, but we can handle this. More, because this isn't the only fucking spiritual abuse happening in these fucking parts. And I should really get my weed started up. Buck breaking. They're not just raping little girls, it's also little boys. And there is a legitimate Masonic Freemason ritual. This is why I had to bring this up. There is a legit Freemason ritual where these guys rape little boys and they assume that breaking the virginity of a young boy's asshole grants them like this cosmic spiritual power. I'm right about this. But I'm going to say allegedly because I don't know if I'm saying exactly right, but I'm 100% right about the concept. Raping virgin boy asshole gives these people perceptively or presumably gives these people magic powers. And it's, in my eyes, it's just to justify male rape and gay rape over children. There is no magical spiritual benefit. And even if there was some magical benefit, it's because the G-spot is in the male asshole. That doesn't mean that you should override consent and you should manipulate and exploit and abuse young boys for your stupid ass rituals. But what's weird is it's even more than just young boys. Frat houses do this. Weird niche groups and like clubs do this shit, bro. Hazing rituals. That's the weirdest part. Like more hazing rituals more times than not are just the kinks of the owners or the rulers of the cult that you're trying to get into, rather than actual eligibility standards to like see if you're a worthy fit for the group. How much can you do without turning on the gang? And basically, how close can I get you to come sucking my dick, even though I don't really want you to, but I wish I could ask you that and it's not weird. Ties me back into the Mr. Beast question. Actually, no, I don't want to say that now. Awkward Mr. Beast mention here. Next, which I predicted, and I was almost, I could be right, because Jeffrey Epstein and the Prime Minister of Israel, the former Prime Minister of Israel, were talking about Peter Thiel, and they said that they both believed that he looked like he was on drugs all the time. And I assumed, after I watched the New York Times interview that he gave when he was saying that like humans shouldn't exist, like some humans should actually perish due to AI, I said that he looked like he was on meth. Like, he looked like he was having meth withdrawals. Because I'm like, who sweats this profusely in an air-conditioned, high-rise condo? Billionaire who has billions or trillions of dollars in revenue made from his little fucking starter school, has all the top future businesses locked under his fucking belt, owns the fucking president by way of the vice president, owns the fucking biggest companies in America, owns the Antichrist, god damn it. How are you scared of being asked basic questions that you had to sign off on before you even showed up in the fucking room? You circled questions on a paper or starred questions to be asked, and you still couldn't answer, you fucking crackhead.
Do music. Ow, ow, ow.
And it's so funny listening to these like young tech people speak about Peter Thiel like he's some god, bro. He's some fucking godsend. It's like, bro, this is just some nerdy ass rich kid fucking racist who never said anything during school acted like they didn't fit in, but really if they opened their mouth, they would say the most heinous shit on planet Earth, ended up happened to get rich, happened to keep on getting rich, and now they're reverse engineering their entire life story or trying to open up a way for them to be accepted while still being the same shithead, silent fuck that they were in high school, while punishing all the people that actually got to live around them outside of their experience in the real world. It's like this, the nerd fantasy of how come girls always choose the mean guys? Beat it, chick. That's literally all of our leaders right now. Beat it, chick. But it's not just beat it, chick. It's I'm gonna beat you, chick, because you didn't pick me back then. That drug thing, though, it's very important to understand when your leaders are just like high on substances and kind of making up theories and just going with it. And then you have somebody like Trump who's just a sociopath and just says words and agrees with them. And people just follow. They're accessing different reality. They may not even be living in the same reality as us because they're so fried on drugs. I'm somebody who smokes weed and drinks beers. That's literally all I do. But I do that consistently. I can recognize when my perspectives are a little out there. I can genuinely recognize that. But you know what I can't? Hold on, we got some fucking weirdo. But you know what I can't recognize? A lot of those like niche rules that like we all have to collectively adhere to when we're all sober. A lot of them because I don't give a fuck about them because they don't really pertain to like being a good human being. It's just like being complicit. But what I'm trying to say with this before I get too much personal and before that lady distracted me over here, it's so weird being in a suburb, being black. It's just like,
Like, if you want to follow me, then come over here and ask.
The reason why our world feels so chaotic is because we're living beneath the instruction of people who are taking drugs and abusing them every single day. And nobody's telling them no because the systems that they had built and are making billions of dollars off of still work or produce capital for the capitalist machine. These people, again, I say that just if you go back to the beginning of this, which is like 2 hours ago at this point, you're going to hear me saying there's like we are perceiving this collective reality on a sober level. And then there's different alternative states that you can get into and realities you can perceive when you take different drugs. Or you can alter your own experience by taking different drugs. When these people, they're not just taking regular drugs. Like they're not just taking, coke in the nose and let's get fucking active a little bit. Let me have a little extra sex. Let me have a little extra fucking, let me hit that spliff real quick and then eat some good food. No. These people are on psychedelics. Elon Musk fried his bladder with ketamine. But I don't even want to know how much ketamine this other nigga, Peter Thiel, takes. But we are forced to live our reality at the mercy of the decisions these people are making in drug psychosis. Is that a world you want to live in? Or do you want to live in a world where the people who have positions of power are actually deserving of those positions? President of the United States. And would you also want those people to be at least kind of basic a little bit in their own lives and not sociopathic, drug-addicted Nazis trying to play good Christians? Like it would almost be better if we decided after World War II that Nazis weren't going to have any power anywhere. It would almost be better if that was the case. But we said, no, let's let them have the entirety of America. The important part about the drug abuse is that these people could be millionaires living in the middle of wherever, taking their little drugs and just fucking off. But they want to literally own the world so they can do it in our face, and then also, not only that, watch us suffer under their hands as well. That's a death wish for a lot of these fucking tech nerds, bro. Like the revenge of the nerds is to own the world. Next. Not only have we described a handful of forbidden magic practices that have been done, but the final thing is that the white man, and this is something that the genuine white racist recognizes. Like, this is a person at the top of society, not ignorant by insecurity because they're both poor and this person's black with a giant dick. Like, not that insecure. I'm talking about what the elite, what the white man who knows the truth and continues to lie, what they know is that, again, like I described maybe 30 minutes ago, all the groups of people that we need to create systems to hate on and to exploit, all those people are inherently magical. And I either have to beg them to learn their magic, to appreciate them, and to hope that they care about me and my goals enough to use that magic for us, or I have to dominate them, conquer them, lie to them, perpetuate these illusions so I can use their power for my own will. Which is like what this white man wants to do with artificial intelligence. It's not to make a tool to help the world. It's to make a tool that is small enough and effective enough to merge into himself to turn himself into a god. And if not turn himself into a god, manifest the god that is offering them this scientific technological insight to give them the opportunity to make this type of shit. And while they make their technological magic, where's our magic hidden? While they convince us that we're fucking monkeys and animals and Neanderthals, our magic is hidden in those museums. It's hidden in that fucking Vatican. I won't go from this earth until every artifact, every archive of that Vatican is ripped the fuck open. Because if this is what's sitting on top of places like that, I guarantee you it's more than aliens sitting underneath them. Oh, I guarantee you it's more than aliens. My soul is screaming at me. The ancestors scream at me every fucking day telling me something is under the Vatican. Something is under. They're either meeting there and doing the elite rituals under there, or our magic artifacts are down there and they're testing the stuff under there. And let's not stop with the fucking CERN Hadron Collider. We're not supposed to be doing that. We're not supposed to be trying to split atoms. We're not supposed to be doing. There's a whole bunch of other things we should be doing. But again, these people aren't from here. They want to jump the gun to owning our reality, or at least owning it enough to find out how they can become the gods of it. And then they're going to assume the role of the god they've been selling us the illusion of in that little brown book they've used after they've owned or stolen our reality from us. They take away your magic. They give you their book of bullshit magic, while they go and scavenge the world to try to find out about your magic so they can use it for their own benefit. And if they can't use it for your own benefit, then nobody gets to know about it at all. Because what's the only other use other than you using that magic for your benefit to protect yourself from this person who has malintention towards you? This is why they'll demonize voodoo. This is why they'll negatively speak on this. This is why African spirituality is either called animism and is not looked at with respect, or it's called devil worship. Because the white man will not exist in a reality where you, nigger, don't worship him. Because imagine what it genuinely feels like, not to think that we're niggers and then have us worship them like monkeys, but to know that we are a divine class of human beings. All marginalized people, but specifically black people. Imagine how good it feels to be a lame, parasitic, lazy fuck, and you own an army of these elite humans called melanated people, and they are obedient to you as long as you keep them ignorant. These white people fought so hard. We had a civil war over slavery because owning black slaves makes these people feel like gods on earth. And the second they lose them, they go back to feeling to their natural state. Parasitic, lame, losers, unworthy, unwanted. They don't even love themselves, man. But they're so afraid of everybody who's not them, they're willing to fuck each other to be in a fake relationship until it comes time to tear each other's throats off. Because they weren't together out of love to expand that love. They were together out of fear, which was going to harbor the hatred. We're done with this video. I think we're at 3 hours now. We're done with this. Hopefully it's less than that. I'm sorry, guys. But I guess we can get to the final part of my video. Let me take a little bong rip, because hell yeah. Little bong ripper. Tell you right now though,
do you suffer from a lack of a father figure? Do you have clinical depression? Have you
every single person in those files deserves to have their throat slashed. And drug across that front street on White House Boulevard, or wherever the fuck. Drug across until the only thing left is bones. I believe that personally. With my whole heart and soul. You don't deserve to breathe oxygen with us. You don't even deserve to die a peaceful death. You deserve to be tortured until you fucking die. For hours, days, weeks. You need to be tortured, and it needs to be live streamed. So the whole world can not only see the punishment that we give to people who do stupid shit like this, but the world can enjoy it as well. The reason why all these people are so confident in protecting these fucking lizard pedophiles is what? Because they genuinely think they're going to beat this case. Don't ever let these people stop talking about this shit. Nothing should matter until we get the names of every perpetrator on that fucking list. And we understand every system. And if they don't want to do it, I'm guarantee you I'll explain it to you guys. In about a week or two, I got a video coming out, which is speaking dead on the freaking this concept that I believe I came up with. I maybe didn't. Called wife, whore, witch complex. And how the current state of like media, like women's empowerment media, not all of it, but just like some of it in the sense of like dating, it's a means of turning women into prostitute themselves for the illusion of like freedom and power, but not realizing that they're just like being used to like destroy their identity. Like, I think a lot of women don't want to believe that like women can hate other women just as much as some men hate women. And those women who hate other women don't just outwardly hate women. They start by acting as if they love women and then manipulating those women out of a trauma bond and then abusing them. So like, and I don't even know how the fuck we got on this conversation. But it's not that I don't want you guys in sex work. It's like, I want you to be aware of what you're getting into. So you recognize like, okay, this is a career I want versus this is something I'm doing just to get money and then I'm going to kill it in a little bit versus I never want to engage with that. But I want to be a human being who supports the livelihood and the welfare of the people who do engage, because they're human beings just like me and deserve to be protected just as much. That's what I'm thinking. We're gonna have a lot of conversations, and the reason why I've realized I can create so many of my own ideas is because I don't read the same fucking little brown book that every single one of you guys is like a slave to. Like, I cross-reference my ideas with reality, like with people, other people who've lived real life. I cross-reference with people who are in my industry. I cross-reference with spiritual teachings from every age, from every country, from different religions. I cross-reference with everything that people have done on earth because I know that pertains to me. Like, to get niche about it, like, I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm going to get to this point. I think I'm just ranting right now, but it's just like, I love beautiful women so much, bro. What do you guys think about beautiful women, man? Like, y'all fuck with them? Oh, we were talking about how I was gonna do Captain Save-A-Ho episode. Alright, all I know is that, damn. I love women, bro. Women are so sexy to me. Like, I hope you guys see, like, whenever I'm doing those advice videos for women, for the ladies, like, it's not as a means to try to, like, control you or manipulate, like, who you're being. Like, I just love y'all so much. Like, I want to be, like, whatever aspects of myself I can, like, put forth to, like, help y'all, to, like, give you a different opportunity in this life, knowing that it's, like, women have had such a narrow opportunity to really be anything, and we're losing even that narrow opportunity right now like nobody's business. Like, I just want to make sure that everything that I can do for y'all, outside of just being hot and giving you guys sex and eating pussy and excessively validating you, like, I want you to know that I'm here for y'all. I'm on y'all's side. But not just without taking accountability. I still need y'all to take accountability, just like I be trying to take accountability for myself as well, my peoples. But just know I love y'all so much, bro. And I've allowed myself to see that that love I have for women extends so much more beyond just like the physical state where I'm just getting so excited and turned on. But it's just, I love women, and I love good women, bro. Like, women with good head on their shoulder, bro. Literally and figuratively. Nigga, I just fell asleep right there. Nigga, I just fell fucking asleep right there. Okay, I gotta stop recording this shit, bro. I gotta stop recording this shit, bro. But we're done with this video, gang. We're done with this video, gang. I might have to make a promo. If you wanna check what we've been talking about, here it is right here. Well, you can't even read that, huh? Gas. Rolling down now. Yes, and I'm gonna put that bitch up, bro. Now, and the kick, got a kick, and I swear that I'm geeked, and all right, that's the day. We did it. I don't know. I guess let me know what you guys think in the comments. I doubt anybody has stayed this long. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, though. Real nigga is out of here. Now I'm playing. Show you some love. Hey, go check out all my fucking links. And if you think I'm cute, you want to have sex, go hit me on my Instagram. I think I want to have sex with you too. All right, later.